Guys, what is up and welcome back. So in today's video, we'll be looking at which Mac should you buy in 2021. Today's date is August 1st, and Apple probably releases Macs in 2 months' time. So it's around the November event. So usually last year we had 3 events. So we might or might not have 3 events this year, but that actually depends. So Apple might just dedicate one event for the maybe the M2 chip is coming out, so they might dedicate one event, or it might not be like last year. So they might combine the iPad and the Mac event together. But whatever it is, the Mac is probably releasing in 2 months. So if you are someone who has like a broken Mac, or if you're planning to upgrade to a Mac, should you buy a Mac? So this is not really for those of you who are using new Macs, but those who want to upgrade. So if you're for example, you're having like the 2015 or the 2017 model, so you're thinking of upgrading now. So the question a lot of you have is, should you buy a bag now, or should you wait? So that's what we're going to look in this video. So let's get started. Okay, so should you buy a Mac? So if you really want to buy a Mac now, for example, your MacBook has spoiled, or you really need one for your workflow, or if you're just someone who are planning for upgrade. If you're someone planning for an upgrade, don't buy now, wait. But if you really need a MacBook now, try to borrow it from a friend and use it. So like try to borrow it from someone, or you try to get a replacement so that your workflow doesn't get disrupted, but at the same time you don't buy a Mac. What I recommend now is, I'll tell you guys at the end of the video. So now, if you're someone who really wants to buy a Mac, like you don't have any other choice, I recommend you go for the refurbished option. So it's actually cheaper. But refurbished MacBooks are not bad. They are also 100% functional, and all the parts are original. But if you're someone who's looking for an upgrade, like you just want, your MacBook is good but it's old, but you want to upgrade now, should you upgrade? So my answer is no, you should not upgrade. But if you're someone who really wants to buy a Mac, let's see which Mac you should buy now. So let's get started. Okay, so now we are at the Apple website now. And as you can see here, we are at the Apple website. So now let's go to Mac. So we have the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, MacBook Pro 16-inch, and the iMac. Okay, so now iMac. iMac, if you're thinking of buying an iMac, that's probably because you want to buy it from your home use. Because as you can see here, the new iMacs are just like the MacBook Air. So if you're someone who want to buy the new M1 Mac, you probably just want to use it for your homework, or just to use it for very basic tasks. So should you buy this? So now let's look at the specifications of it. So let's go to tech specs now here, and let's see. So this is the 24-inch with 4K display, 4.5K retina display as usual, and the M1 chip. That's very famous, of course, and the 16 GB RAM. But the Magic Keyboard with Touch ID only comes if you buy the high-end model. So let's look. So the price is for 256 is $2,149. So, but before that, let's take a look at the colors. So now you have like different color options on iMac. So you don't really have a lot of color options on MacBooks, because the MacBook Air only has gold and silver, and the MacBook Pro has gold and he has silver and gray. So you have color options. So if you're someone you don't really need a MacBook, but you just want to use a Mac, but you're not going to bring it anywhere, you're just going to use it like desk-based jobs, I think you should go for the Mac. But which Mac? So which iMac? So there are different colors. So I'm not going to tell the color options, of course, that's up to your personal preferences, but we can look at the technical specifications. Okay, so let me go and click buy on this so that we both see the specifications here. Let's wait for it to load, and there we are. Okay, so now there are 3 different types. One is the 8-core CPU and the 7-core GPU, which is the very basic one with 8 GB unified memory, and There's no USB port or Ethernet port. And the Magic Keyboard is the normal Magic Keyboard with no Touch ID. So this is the very basic one. Another one is the second one is the 8 core CPU and the 8 core GPU with 256 or the storage is optional, but with the same display, but four USB port, same with four USB port with four ports with two Thunderbolt and two USB. And this has Ethernet with it and Magic Keyboard with Touch ID. So this is something which you have to take note of. So, and the price for this is 2,149. And now the last one, the fully spec'd out one is the 8 core CPU, 8 core GPU, and 512 GB memory storage. The rest is the same. I'm not going to repeat the specs. Okay. So now, which Mac should you buy? If you're someone who's looking for like a normal workflow and you're someone with just very basic tasks, you're just gonna surf the internet, watch some YouTube videos like now, or if you're just someone with just basic tasks like you just wanna just use Google to search stuff, I think the base model is more than good, more than enough. So 1,849. So, but this does not have Touch ID. So you're someone who goes for convenience over price, then this may not be something for you. Because without the Touch ID, you have to always key in your password in the Mac. For someone who if you're someone who uses it regularly or uses it very often in the day, then typing in the password every single time when you go in, it might be very frustrating. So you might want to skip this option just for the Touch ID. So you might want to pay 2,149 for just the Touch ID. But you don't use Ethernet, you don't need the other USB port, then it might be just a waste for you. And I recommend just going for this. Just going for this because you might get used to it in the future. So you might just get used to it, just typing in the password. But if you're someone you really want to go for Touch ID, then yeah, then you have to spend 2,149. But what you're getting with 2,149 is that you're getting Ethernet and two more USB ports. So for example, you just want to plug in your thumb drive, or you're not using the Magic Mouse. So you're not using the Apple Magic Mouse here. So if you're someone who uses like other brands such as HP and stuff, so you have to plug in the wireless receiver, so you need the USB ports. But two USB Thunderbolt port are just not enough. So if you're someone who really wants Touch ID, and you can just go get this, and you will get two extra USB ports. So you can use them to plug in your thumb drive or just to plug in your phone to transfer a few stuffs. Yeah, so it's just extra ports are always good. That's what I would say. Every time I say the more ports you have, the better it is. It's not if you use them or not, but if you have it, it's good. So now, but if you're someone with just very basic use, two Thunderbolt ports is enough for you and you don't really need anything else. But I would recommend going for this. But if you're going to spend 1,849 on this iMac, I rather you don't get this and you get a MacBook Air. But we'll talk about that later. So now let's move on to the last one. So this is 512 GB storage, the rest is the same. So we should just go select this and we should talk over the RAM. Okay, so we see. So there you go. 16 GB unified memory. So 256 GB SSD, 16 GB storage, 16 GB of memory is 2,449, $2,449. So as you can see here, 16 GB RAM and you get an iMac. But this iMac is nothing compared with the MacBook Pro. So if you're someone who's thinking of getting the 16 GB unified memory for your M1 iMac, it's not really worth it. Okay, so it's not really worth it because these iMacs are meant for daily basic stuff, basic tasks, and not really meant for high level of editing and things. So I would just recommend going for 8 GB memory and just using this as just a basic usage. So you just want to use this for watching Netflix, or just use it to just for external just for a bigger display. You can't use it as an external display since this iMac since the M1 chip and the motherboard is inside the chassis here. So you can't really use it as an external monitor, but you can just use this as a normal, just a basic web browsing thing. So now coming on to the storage. Let's talk about RAM. So now we shall move on to the storage. So storage, which storage should you buy? This is another one. So 256 GB SSD, 512 GB SSD storage, 1 TB and 2 TB. So as you can see here, this so what's the difference? So 256 GB SSD is 2449, and but you need to, okay, so let's not talk about the RAM now. So I should just take out the RAM now. So 2149, and you're actually spending $300 extra for this 512 GB SSD. I know SSDs are fast, but still $300 for 512 GB SSD is not really good. So what should you do if you want more storage? You see, Macs are, especially iMacs, are just going to be used as a as a desktop computer. So mostly it's going to be sitting on a table. You're not going to carry it around or anything. So I recommend you get a SSD or a hard drive. So 512 GB SSD, so yeah, that's this SSD. So of course, the speed varies as they are not as good as inbuilt SSDs, because inbuilt SSDs work together with the operating system to provide a seamless experience. That's not really going to happen if you're someone who expects seamlessness. Yeah, but external hard drive and SSDs does the job perfectly fine. So I recommend you not paying for this and going for the full storage, going for the basic storage and getting SSD or HDD. So now moving on to the Magic Mouse and Magic Trackpad. So the Magic Mouse is free, but the Magic Trackpad is a plus $70. So this I can't really say anything about it because this is your personal preference. So it actually depends on how your workflow needs or your personal preference. So yeah. So uh, and the pre-installed software of Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro also, it depends on your personal preference. If you really need Final Cut Pro like me, I'm not someone who uses Final Cut Pro, but if you're someone who needs Final Cut Pro, you should just go get it. But like I said, Final Cut Pro is something which demands RAM and higher graphics. That is something which the M1 Mac definitely can't afford. you, Even though the display is good, but the internals of the M1 iMac is the same as the M1 MacBook Air, so it'll get close to the same performance on this. So buying Final Cut Pro is not really recommended for this. I recommend you go for the Intel. Oh no, the Intel is not selling anymore, but you can just go for the refurbished versions. Oh, the Intel is actually selling. So this is 24-inch and this is 27-inch. Okay, so now let's move on to 27-inch here. Okay, so 27-inch iMac. This is not the M1 MacBook. It's not the M1 iMac, but this is the Intel version. So let's go. So you have the 21.5-inch. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm surprised that you're still selling the 21.5-inch. So now let's go. Should you buy a 21.5-inch? Definitely not, because this runs on Mac OS Catalina, and this is really bad. The graphics are bad, and okay, let's go see the technical specifications at this. So like this, and we shall go and see. So you see, so there's 256 GB SSD and 1 TB Fusion drive. So you can see how old this Mac is. So let's go see the technical specifications. Oh, there's no technical specifications. Okay, so now let's go search it out. Do it customer 21.5-inch. So here go see. Let's 21.5 iMac release date. So let's see, 2015. So this was launched back in 2015. So that's what you get. This is a 2015 iMac, and it runs on Mac OS Catalina. I'm sure. So it runs on Mac OS Catalina. So should you buy this? You guys should know the answer by now. No, this is a total waste of money, and you're just gonna burn your money. So let's go to 27-inch. So Now, should you get a 27-inch? So the price for the 27-inch starting is 2599. So it's close to $2,600 for the starting price. So let's just click the base model. Is the Retina? Okay, this is the 5K display and not the 4K display, but you can, so it's Radeon Pro 5300 with 4 GB and GDDR6 memory. Okay, and 8 GB memory. Okay, so oh, and this has gigabyte Ethernet built in with Magic Mouse 2 and Magic Keyboard. Okay, so you can see here Ethernet. This has inbuilt Ethernet, so you don't have to pay for anything extra. And the nano texture glass. Okay, not everyone is going to buy nano texture glass because the nano texture glass might affect the editings if you're someone who does editing. So let's just go with 16 GB of RAM because there's the big. Okay, never mind. We should just go for the basic one. So we are just going to buy the standard one, and the Ethernet is just normal Ethernet, and we're just going to stick to everything normal. So it's 2599. So now let's go back to the M1 iMac. So let's go to the M1 iMac. Wait for it to load. Okay, so okay, let's just go with the high-end model with the same. So okay, so we shall go with Ethernet. Does this have Ethernet? Yes, it does. So as you can see, this has Ethernet also. So you're not gonna pay anything extra. So you're gonna take this with Ethernet, and okay, let's say you're gonna go for 300 extra $300 for 16 GB RAM, and you see $2,449. And that was the starting price, that was 2,400. So as you can see, that Mac, I don't really recommend you getting the 27-inch iMac, but yeah, so as you can see here, yeah, 27-inch iMac. So the 21.5-inch is out of this stock because it's a total waste of money. So you want to look at this. So this is starting price is 2,599 with 256 GB SSD and just two Thunderbolt ports. And you want to increase the memory, and that's going to cost up to 3K. Okay, 2,900. So but of course in this you can increase your memory up to 128 gigabytes. Okay, that's a whopping $7,000, up to $6,500. But you go to 8 GB. So as you can see, the 8 GB is $2,600, whereas the M1 is way cheaper. But of course, like I said before, the M1 is the MacBook Air. It's the same as the MacBook Air, so you're not gonna get such a good workflow. But if you're someone just trying out, just trying out stuff, I think I'll just recommend you go for this. But yeah, I mean, if you want to do editing also, it's perfectly fine. You can of course do editing here with the 16 GB RAM and the 256 GB SSD and the Magic Mouse. So and this comes with the Touch ID, which the with the 27-inch iMac does not have. Of course, the RAM is a problem because this only has 16 GB of RAM. But like I said, now if you're buying now, then this is good to go. And this is also quite on a budget, so it's $2,500 and you're good to go for this. But if you're someone who really who wants to save money, and but at the same time you want to get the high memory version, then I recommend you waiting till the launch. So that's in 2 months time, so probably 1.5 to 2 months time. So if you can wait, like I said before, if you can wait till the launch comes, and I'm sure there's going to be another M1 Mac. Okay, maybe not. Okay, yeah, the M1 iMac might not come out this year, but probably next year. But okay, so now if you're someone who really needs it, just go for it. Recommend. So my final verdict: should you buy which iMac should you buy? I recommend you going for the M1 iMac with 16 GB of RAM and 256 GB of SSD, and not go for the Intel version. Of course, some people go to the Intel version because some of the apps that they are using are not integrated for Apple Silicon. But if that's the case for you, then you have no choice but to go for the Intel version. But if you're someone who's using Apple apps, like Apple's inbuilt apps like Final Cut Pro, iMovie, and stuff, then or Logic Pro, then yeah. This is good to go. This is a very good Mac. Yeah. So so the final verdict for this is, oh, and I forgot, this has the magnetic power cable. So you have like, so if you have someone who goes for, this cool all all in one color design, so this is the good one for you, because this Mac comes with matching keyboard, matching mouse, and the wires are also braided to be the matching color of the iMac. So if you're someone who goes for, the same color or the same kind of theme, then this might be a good iMac for you. And of course, this iMac is very good, and at the same time you have a lot of color options. So the 21.5-inch iMac, 21.7-inch, yeah, the 27-inch iMac. So the 27-inch iMac has only one color. Yes. I thought it has two colors, but no, it's one color. So you're stuck with one color. But if you're someone who needs colors, then of course, I recommend going for the iMac, the new Apple Silicon iMac. But of course, there will be definitely a slight performance difference due to the different processors and stuff. But I'm sure the M1 iMac, it's very good due to the I mean, you all should know how the M1 processor is by now. It's very famous and it's very good. So the power efficient is very good. Even though this doesn't have the battery, so but still it's a power efficient core, and the processing is definitely going to be very fast. It's going to be faster than the Intel iMac, that's for sure. So the final verdict is, if you're someone who really needs an iMac now for your workflow, I recommend getting the 24-inch iMac with the Apple M1 chip. But if you're someone who can wait, if the iMac isn't really urgent for you, but just want to get an M1 iMac for your workflow, I recommend you waiting. Wait until probably this fall or the next year. So probably 2022, probably during the March or April event, they might, release another iMac with the second gen Apple chip. Fingers crossed, of course. Fingers crossed. Okay. So let's wait. And so yeah, that's the final verdict, guys. So I recommend you buying this and not the Intel iMac. If you guys like this video, do remember to click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.